I am sorry if I mispronounce anything. I read the Bible in Latvian, so some of the things might not sound the same in English. But I am very happy that I can do it. I can communicate this message. And there are a couple of things that I want to touch before I go into what I've learned and noticed in the Bible. And hope you like it. Hope you can take something from it. One of the things I want to mention is that this is just my view of the Bible. I don't know what's the right or the correct way to approach it, so I'm just going to share. And yes, if you don't want to be let's say challenged, or you don't want to learn something, or you really don't want to change any of your beliefs, then maybe this video is not for you. You don't have to watch it then, but this is just my view. So first of all, I think I was scared of the book because I always wanted to find out what is the meaning of life and why are we here. And maybe I was just scared to find out the truth, and scared of what I might find out the purposes, and scared that this will not represent my values or my thoughts of what should or shouldn't be done in this life. Scared to change the way of life, I guess. I was in no rush to read the Bible. My version has 1035 pages of text, and I've heard it takes 70 hours to read the Bible. I read a couple of minutes a day, 2-3 pages a day. I was keen to understand, to feel the Bible, feel the people who wrote it and why they wrote it. So I took my time. It took me about 13 months, and I would say all in all it was about 100 hours that I put into this. Before that, I had read many books, about 233, maybe not that many, but I had the feeling that a lot of them were beating around the bush, if you could say so, and not really telling me straightforward what's going on and what is the meaning. And yes, I always felt that there was something missing. And with the Bible, I noticed and realized that it had very many answers. Some of them which I was looking for, I have to say that most of them I did not even realize I needed or I was looking for them. So it has a lot of parables, I think is the name, or it has very many stories that have lessons hidden within them. But if you pay attention and if you follow through, you can get a lot of meaning out of them and apply them to your life. I hope you do as well. If you have read the Bible, I hope you can hear some new perspective of it. If you haven't read, then this might be just one man's insight into the Bible. And I've taken out and written down some of my favorite parts. I took a note of what page and what are my thoughts on the things that are written there. And yes, so I have to say thank you to the American couple that had come to Latvia as tourists. We traveled around. I was their guide for a day, and we went to a museum, which is Glick's museum, which is the fellow that translated the Bible into Latvian first. And they bought me this Bible, and it was just sitting there, honestly, below my bed for a long time. And then when I turned 33, I saw that it is time to read it, and I did. I was looking at the world and noticing that a lot of Hollywood celebrities are possessed by demons, and I felt that Satan or the devil is working very hard to manipulate and destroy humans, steal souls. So I knew that there is a stronger force, and I went looking for it. I did find it, and I hope you do too. Yes. And I think it's important that all of us do look for God, search for meaning, and hopefully find it. Because this world is full of different traps and temptations to stray off the path. But we need to be strong in each other, in Jesus Christ, in the Word of God, and hopefully we can win this battle. One of the things I want to mention is that all of us should check our Bibles, because some of them are not complete. Therefore, a lot of wise men and women can read the word in the Bible and not realize that they're not getting the full picture. One of the ways that you can check it, I've noticed that some Bibles do not have Matthew 17:21. It's just small letters there, which you can, if you're just reading the text, you could miss. It talks about fasting and prayer, and I'm not sure why would they take it out. There's a couple of more examples. I'll try to mention them when I'm going through the Bible, but yes, it's important to get the full picture, the full story, so that you can make the right decision, I guess. So the Bible starts with the Old Testament. I would say that it's all chaos. It's God creates the snake. The snake is basically the devil. The devil manipulates and distorts everything. So in the Old Testament, I think just God and Satan are playing these, not playing games, but they are just fighting, and you can't really tell who's doing what there. And I believe that in the New Testament, when Jesus comes, that he dies for our sins and also for the sins that God and Satan made in the Old Testament. It's said that we are made in God's image, and humans do make a lot of mistakes. So I think it is okay to say that also God has made some mistakes. Therefore, he has also given these some of the mistakes to us. Yes. I'm not a pastor, I'm just a man with a book and a lot of notes that I want to share. I want to share. I'll try to be fast. As you can see, I'm thinking a lot about what to say and how to say it. I don't want to sound arrogant or wise in any case. I'm still learning and looking for how to express myself and how to go and navigate through this life. So I hope that you can forgive me for my slow way or manner of speaking, and I might make some pronunciation mistakes, as English is not my first language. I do try hard to make it as easy to understand as I can. I was surprised that there were no funny things written down in the Bible. Maybe there were, I just didn't see them. But for thousands of years it was just misery and blood, and pain and suffering, sins, and there were a lot of strong people there. And yes, I'll try to extract a joke or two from the text. But it's a very serious book, and it's a no laughing matter, for sure. I do think that there's one thing that unites demons and angels, Satan and God. I think they're all smiling. Yes, I'll leave it at that. Don't trust my opinion. Question everything. And with Jesus in our hearts, it's time to move forward. So, let's go. I would say that the first couple of pages, 144 maybe, was very tough to read because of the language. But as you read on, push on, and if you don't give up, step by step, slowly, everything just starts to make sense. My Bible is revised in 1965. It has additions, so to say. Not sure if it's the right word. Yes, so one of the first things that I noticed, there was a lot of sacrifice, which I'm not sure that God really wanted. And later on, he actually says that in the Book of Solomon. But one thing that ladies have to do to become pure again after the special days of the month where they bleed, is they have to sacrifice these pigeons and this other bird, which is type of a pigeon, I guess, as well. And it just seems that we would need every year, based on the population right now, we have about 4 billion women. So if they all did it, we would need 2 billion birds every year just for sacrificing, which just seems crazy. And so yeah, so I wasn't very happy about that. Let's see, that talks about false gods, that we should not fall into the trap of I think it's money. I think it's just gold and luxury, diamonds and money, and we glorify that and treat it as a deity of itself, which it's not. We can't take it with us when we die, so we come in to this world naked and we leave naked, so to say. The only thing is that if we have some wisdom in our hearts and souls that we can maybe take with us. That's about it. Talks about fasting. I really enjoyed that. Fasting has also helped me. Talks about really long periods of fasting, which everyone should try, because most of the humans try some drugs and try alcohol, but not that many people try meditation or fasting or very hard exercise, for example. So we tend to try the easy or the fun things, but forget to try the harder things. Talked about how if there are many people who say that someone is evil, that at some point, like in the Old Testament, they would treat him or give him in Latvian it's called the straight justice. If you're evil, we deal with you in an evil way, which also has one of the Bible verses says that if you strike someone with a sword, you have to accept that you will be stricken with a sword as well. You have to obey your parents, especially your mother. We all come into this earth through her, through this being. Also, Jesus came into this world through a mother, Mary. So we have to respect that. And if we can't respect our mothers, then we might be doomed as a society. It also says that you should not touch other man's private parts. I had very many thoughts about, in the Old Testament, especially about war, is that just sort of prepares or teaches something about war that somehow makes us accept it as a norm or as something that is just inevitable. I don't think that is true. Anyways, it was then there was this story about what was his name? I think it was Samson, where he was getting married, and then they had a bet. He thought of a riddle that he gave to his 30 men who were participating in the wedding, and then if they were just betting on clothes, which I guess is something that you do thousands of years ago. But the way how it ended was just crazy, that they couldn't figure it out. They begged the future wife to tell them. She pressured Samson. He did tell her on the 7th day, which was the deadline for them to figure out the riddle. And then somehow possessed Samson went to a town and killed 30 men. I hope that they were some bad men that he killed, but it didn't really go into specifics of what kind of men were they. And then at the end, he didn't even marry this girl or lady, and someone else from the wedding ended up marrying her. So that was sort of crazy. And then later on, talks about building the temple for God, and everything had to be from gold, which I thought is weird. Why would an omnipotent being that has power over everything need you to prove to him that you are worthy with gold and all these golden things? So that's one of the reasons why I think that they're somehow mixing together these good and evil. Yes. Okay, so I could maybe try to see where it is. The names are different. So it's the first book of Kings. Yes, and it talks about war. Yes, and it reminds me also of Lao Tzu's book, Art of War. Basically, it's just crazy stuff where one of the ladies is crying to her king that please help me, please help me. And then he says, like, if your God doesn't help you, how can I help you? She says that we had an agreeing with this other lady. In times of war, they had nothing to eat, and she suggested the craziest thing, that let's eat my son first, and then let's eat your son next. And then when they ate her son, this other lady hid her son, and she was just mad about that. And yes, so it's just crazy times and crazy things that people do in times of war, which is the work of the devil. There's not much to add there. Yes. Never hesitate. If you have given the time, the idea, the means, by all means, do not wait. Do act and share your knowledge, wisdom, act kind, and trust in your heart. Talks about foods to be beautiful. Book of Esther, I think is the name. Talks about what I would do, I think, at one point, about runners who would deliver the message, the good message of the Lord, that we should throw away the deities of false gods and trust in just the real Lord. And there's Hebrews being bullied for reasons, I would say. Not real sure what's the difference between Hebrews and Jews. Maybe it's the same. Maybe someone can comment. has gods plural at one point, where God is standing in some like a meeting of higher powers, which I couldn't really grasp. There's God's gift, or is making life. We have been blessed and given the chance to create life, to create kids, and that's one of the blessings that we can enjoy and share and care about, and we should all do that. And now I think I'll just read a couple of things that I translated, and in Latvian it sounds a bit different, so I think it would be important for all of us to, if we know other languages, to try and read the text in different languages to see how it's translated and how other nations understand it. But one of the things from Old Bible I want to mention is the book of Job. And he, as I've written down, is an OG. And he really is a man of faith. And with everything that went wrong, and all the suffering that he had to go through, he never strayed off of the path, and he always stayed faithful. And I wish that all of us could have such a strong belief, and even when Satan does everything to discourage you, to put fear onto you, to like you never give up. You as they say, when people get married, in the good times and in the bad, you always share and you always care. And yes, that's one of the things that we can really learn from Job. In Latvian, his name is Iabs, Book of Iab. All right, and then there are many parts of where people go and do some crazy things. And yes, I'll just go into a couple of them. So, Solomon chapter 21. Every way, 21:2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. So this was crazy to me, and I felt a little bit touched, or maybe I could say also disappointed that Solomon is 900 years before Christ, and Adam and Eve was about 4,000 years before Christ. So, period of 3,000 years, this did not appear at any point. So they were sacrificing birds, oxes, sheep, like all kinds of animals. At one point, almost one of the people, one of the dads, no, one man, I forgot his name, almost sacrificed his son. Then just God saw that he's faithful and he's willing to do whatever he's told, and he said that you don't have to do it. But anyways, yes, I was just very disappointed that this couldn't be said to people faster, that you don't have to sacrifice. It's better to do justice, to do just things, and to help each other, not to sacrifice. So that was, yeah, just sad, I guess. And then Solomon chapter 21:9. It is better to dwell in a corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. Which basically is that it's better to live in a cardboard box than with a woman that's always nagging, and you live in a castle or a villa. And I guess a lot of gentlemen or men can agree that it's you can't really enjoy much if you're constantly being nagged at, or yes, scolded. Jeremiah 19:5. They have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it. I think it's spoke it, neither came it into my mind. Jeremiah 19:35. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Molech, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. Now, this, I did not know if I'm going to find answers to what was going on in Hollywood with Epstein and Diddy, and also what this lady called Hillary was doing. It was in her emails that she wrote to this other guy whose name I'm forgetting, and even that was, so it's so I basically came to the conclusion that for the past 6,000 years we have been battling the same demons and devils, and yes, and Satan has a way of fooling men and women into believing that they can achieve some higher wisdom or some higher power, or they can be immortal. And they just do crazy things to themselves, to their children, and to other people's children. And it's just bad and sad. Daniel 6:24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the dens of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came to the bottom of the den. Now Daniel in the lion's den was one of my favorite stories from my childhood. And I believe it is a great example of faith, that if you are strong in your faith and you have the armor of Jesus Christ, our Lord, nothing can stop you, nothing can hurt you if you do the right thing. So that's one of the things that people who do follow Baal and Molech have forgotten, have been tricked or fooled into not seeing or believing. And yes, greed has poisoned men's souls, unfortunately. Then book of Matthew 17:21, yes, is the one that you need to check. Book of Matthew and book of Job are probably the ones that I would start with if I would not want to read the whole Bible from cover to cover as I did. But if I had to choose, I would start with the book of Job, then go on to book of Matthew, then book of John, and maybe book of Romans, which was suggested to me by the American couple that gave me the book. All right, John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This is just powerful, beyond measure. Says it all. And when I was, how is it called? Baptized? Not sure if it's called that. When I was a baby, basically, I was blessed by the pastor. I'm not sure if it's the right word, but my middle name was given to me, and it's John. So my name is Jurgis John Kukša. Jurgis Jānis Kukša in Latvian. So yes. So book of John did also bring a lot of wisdom to me. And yes, I keep going back to the thought that I wish I would have read the Bible sooner. Although, if I hadn't seen all the evil, if I hadn't read all the other books, which seemed crazy at first, but there were a lot of conspiracy books, and all the conspiracies, most of them turned out to be conspiracy facts and reality, unfortunately. And reading the Bible just proved that the books were right, I was right, or the knowledge and the lessons were true. Most of them, unfortunately, true. All right, so this is one of the things where I really saw the wisdom and power of Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth. And I really liked it, and I would like to read the whole thing, just 11 sentences. So Jesus went on to the Mount of Olives, and early in the morning he came again into the temple, and all the people came unto him, and he sat down and taught them. And the scribes and Pharisees brought unto him a woman who had been caught in adultery, and they had set her in the midst. They say unto him, Master, this woman was taken in adultery, in the very act. Now Moses in the law commanded us that such should be stoned. But what saith? What do you say? This they said, tempting him, that they might have to accuse him. But Jesus stooped down, and I think in Latvian version it says that he understood what they were thinking, and he was writing with his finger in the sand. But here it says, with his finger he wrote on the ground, as though he heard them not. So when they continued asking, he lifted up himself and said unto them, He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the last. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus lifted himself up, And he saw no one but the woman. He said, "Woman, where are those, your accusers? No one condemned you?" She said, "No, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." Which was very powerful, because none of us are free from sin. We're all sinners, and we should learn how to accept each other and forgive. Acts of the Apostles, 15:19. Wherefore my sentence is, what we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to God, but what we write unto them, that they abstain from pollutions of idols, and from fornication, and from things strangled, and from blood. Now, this could go back to whatever atrocity they are doing all around the world, unfortunately. They did mention it a little bit in the movie Sound of Freedom. But I think it also is connected with food that we eat. And it also reminded me of what I have read about Da Vinci. He said that from an early age, he has abstained himself from any blood, that he would not mix his flesh and blood with any other being's blood, which made just a lot of sense to me. Romans 14. For meat destroyed not the work of God. All things indeed are pure, but it is evil for that man who eateth with offense. It is good neither to eat flesh, nor to drink wine, nor anything whereby thy brother stumbleth, or is offended, or is made weak. Now this sounds different in the Latvian text, but I think the message is there. Hebrews 5:13. For everyone that use milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. It also talks about solid food in Latvian version, but in the English version it talks about meat being something that you should eat. But that would not go hand in hand with the blood, because meat contains blood. And yes. And milk, this reminded me of a book called The China Study, where it had where they had followed for 20 years different groups of people with different types of diets, and they noticed that the ones who consumed the most milk had the most tumors and cancers. So I believe that milk also comes from a horned being, that we don't drink human milk, and only babies drink human milk. So if you want to continue to be, it says babe here, or I think it's a baby, you want to be a child, or a child of a cow, you consume milk. Just somehow made sense to me. James 2:26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also. Now here, this reminded me of one of the pastors saying that you just have to believe, and just believe and trust that everything's going to be good. And I can't not really fully agree with that. I think that we need to act. We need to, if we see evil, we have to shine a light on it. That's the least that we can do. And I At some point, enough is enough, and we have to fight. And there's one part that where Jesus says that I'm not here to bring peace, but sword. I'm gonna look for it, but I think he doesn't mean a sword that we should kill everyone, but means that we do have to fight with the weapons that we use. That is a question, yes. Yes, Revelations 13:16. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it's the number of man, and his number is 666. In Latvian version, it just says 666. And maybe there's different translations of the Bible, and some other Bible says that as well. And well, this is one of the things that I've been hearing mostly on YouTube, discussing AI, chips and brains, discussing also the things that they injected in humans. And unfortunately, it might all be the work of the Satan or the devil. So there's a lot of ways how we can go off the right path. We have to stay strong, help each other to understand what's going on, share our knowledge, share wisdom that we have learned. We have to care for each other as our brothers and sisters. And I hope that we can all read the Bible and read different other texts that help us to unite and realize that we are being manipulated and tricked into believing that war is something that can somehow resolve anything. It will not. And yes, I encourage you to read the Bible, to start or to improve your relationship with Jesus Christ. And I hope God and Jesus blesses us all and helps us to win this mainly spiritual battle that we are in right now. Thank you, and have a great day.